Several years ago, I was asked to do a presentation on ADHD for driving instructors from the local driving schools in the area. The things that the instructor shared with me did not surprise me at all. Things like kids having ADHD but not being medicated, yet taking driving lessons, which obviously impacted their ability to attend to the road and use situational awareness, or what I call reading the field. The instructors also mentioned that some of the kids who they were instructing did not want to drive or didn't feel ready to drive, yet the parents were pushing them to drive. I want to share with you the things that I tell parents regarding kids with ADHD and driving. Number one, I don't think there is a correct age when kids with ADHD should start driving because every kid is unique and this is really specific to the individual. Are there some kids like my son who were not ready to drive at 16 or 17? Absolutely. And here's what I tell parents if their child is not showing an interest in driving. I explain to them, you cannot force somebody to want to learn to drive if they're not there yet. So this is not something that I feel should be pushed on kids. Now, if your child wants to drive and they are excited about it, there's a few things that we have to take into consideration here. Number one, are they being compliant with taking medication? If not, I would say driving is off the table until they make the choice to be compliant with taking their medication as prescribed. Number two, have they exhibited a level of responsibility where they have shown that they can be responsible for their own belongings and for taking care of things independently? And most importantly, have they exhibited independent problem-solving skills? Because when you are driving, you have to use independent problem-solving skills. If the answer is no to any of those, then I would say they are not ready to drive yet. Number three, have they exhibited an age-appropriate level of emotional regulation where they've proven that they can handle driving without getting really upset or getting really angry or really anxious? I do want to mention when I talk about emotional regulation, I do consider impulse control to be part of emotional regulation. And finally, do they understand that driving is a privilege that you are giving them? It is not an entitlement that they are owed simply because of their age. As a general rule, I do believe it's better for kids with ADHD to wait an extra year or 2 years or whenever they're ready to drive because of their delayed executive functioning. That being said, I do want to tell you, I have some former students who started driving at 16 or 17, and they were really good drivers and they were really attentive and they were rule followers. So there was really nothing to be concerned about with them more than there would be with any other teenager learning to drive or getting their license. I don't think any parent is going to be 100% comfortable with their child starting to drive, myself included. I will tell you, even at 26, I will not drive with my son because his driving makes me really nervous. And if I do have to drive with him, I keep my eyes closed the whole time. I'm being serious about this. So please keep in mind, your child learning to drive is going to be outside of your comfort zone. It might be better if you do not drive with them. I did not drive with my son until after he got his license because I knew I would be a mess and I would be reactive to him. And that was probably one of the best things I ever did for him. And please keep in mind, just because your child's friends or their classmates are getting their license, that does not mean that they necessarily need to. And if they have not exhibited an age-expected level of emotional regulation, independent problem-solving skills, and the level of responsibility required to drive, then it's time for them to wait a little bit. And it's okay if they don't like that because you are doing what you need to do to ensure their safety and other people's safety as well. I hope this is helpful. Feel free to leave any questions or comments, and I will speak to you soon. Take care.